If you need a sign for you to finally get your life ahead on zeroing in and locking in for your winter arc, this is probably your sign. I planned my entire week based off ChatGPT, and what did I learn from this? I think there was a lot of things I've learned from the section of Sunday to Saturday. So let me show you, or let me tell you how the rundown is. So I put some bullet points on what entirely was, I guess, quote unquote, the main important thing for me. For Sunday, it was really relaxing. It was on the relaxing side, and I think that's the same thing for Wednesday because I set my days up like that. Full of relaxation, rest, and resetting my entire week and getting ready for the next day off, quote unquote. Thursday and Friday was where I was falling off. I was not following my schedule, but that's okay because life really does happen. I had went over to a family member's house, spent my day with them, and then the next day I was just grocery shopping and doing X, Y, and Z. So it puts your schedule into perspective to see how and where exactly your days go. I know for people that typically want to know what they really do during the day, or sometimes they need a little schedule to see where things really go off. It helps knowing that ChatGPT kind of organizes that for you versus you kind of assuming what should really go down when in actuality you have X, Y, and Z plan. For one of the days I scheduled, I guess, quote unquote, royal duties. That probably doesn't really make sense. At the time, I thought I was eating. I thought I ate with that response because I wanted to seem like I was the Imperial Palace. I was listening to classical music during that time when I was creating all of the schedule input stuff. That royal palace, royal duties aspect was mostly me. It was kind of like me being in a productive state as well. And I think I want to revamp that and take it as royal lessons instead of royal duties because I'm not really royalty, but having the ability to be sophisticated and acquire assets on being more classier would be really helpful in regards to that matter. And there were some parts that didn't really make sense in the schedule. Why are you gonna work out after, or why are you gonna exercise right after you eat, like yoga? So some parts of the schedule was a little bit finicky and you do have to play around with it. I'll insert like a snapshot of my schedule somewhere here, and I will block off some parts that are confidential because I don't really want anyone to find out. It's a lot of working around to see what really works with you as a person and what works with your schedule, because everyone's day-to-day really does depend. Some people need 30 minutes to get up while other people need an entire hour. So you kind of want to plan around that and make sure that is working towards your favor, because I feel like ChatGPT puts out the groundwork. It puts everything into perspective. It organizes how you want your priorities to be prioritized, but it doesn't really account for breaks, rest breaks, mental health breaks, or anything in that manner. Taking a break and being mindful for yourself. So it doesn't really. I will also say that you are also productive. Productivity is really important to me as a person. So you do happen to be more on the productive side because you actually know what's going on next. If you're the type of person to be spontaneous and you don't want to follow your schedule, and I know some people that actually do this, like they do not want to have a schedule planned day by day. For me, I actually need to know a little bit because it helps me organize myself and puts things into perspective. Or should I say, it really helps me organize my thoughts. But yes, if you're spontaneous, I don't think this would really work out for you. A little bit more constricting because you don't have any free time to do X, Y, and Z, and then maybe you want to be spontaneous the next day and move things around. But that is not to say if you want to be flexible with your schedule, if one moment it isn't a priority, for example, like in the morning, you're not actually feeling doing yoga or X, Y, and Z, you actually want to do a light reading in bed. If you're feeling in that manner, you can obviously move things. The schedule really is there to kind of help you put into perspective how your day really could be planned. Spontaneity doesn't work with me unless I know what's going on, but flexibility does work with me if I know what is going on. Being able to be flexible is also, with that being said, you have to program it. For me, it took several tries for me to finally get to the nitty-gritty. The first part, I did a paragraph format. What I had to do was actually set it from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So I had to organize it into a time-bound schedule. This also helps if you have a goal in mind and you want to achieve, for example, if you want to achieve being a model, organizing your thoughts of where you want it to be, need a little bit help planning your schedule, and you already have your solidified things, but you don't know what to put in between, especially if you're a commuter, like a college student, and you want to be more productive but you also don't want to deplete your energy levels. Plan in when to eat. You can also plan in when to read, when to do X, Y, and Z, when to study. It really does help, and it does take accountability. I know there was a moment where I had incorporated a work component in my schedule where I had mentioned, like, can you plan around X, Y, and Z? Incorporated the commuter time as well, and I feel like that is really helpful when it comes to planning, because a lot of times people often forget that sometimes you need to leave X, Y, and Z. You don't need to leave exactly at that time. Like, you don't need, if it starts at 9, you need to leave probably 10 to 15 minutes before that. Do not leave exactly at 9. For me, this was really helpful, especially someone who wants to have motivation on what to do next. If you're the type of person to have this constant self-comparison, wondering like, where did your days really go on by? Or, you know, why is other people doing more versus me? Especially if you have a goal in mind and you want to practice habits that is reflective of what your ideal career or person you want to aspire to be. For example, if you want to be a K-pop idol, you'd want to ideally schedule in singing lessons, dancing lessons, posing lessons, modeling lessons, and school as well. After schedule, you do need a nap where that is your priority. You can also incorporate that too and put in like, oh, this is what I need to sleep, or this is when I need to sleep, and this is what I need to do. That's a priority. That's a non-negotiable. ChatGPT is such a crazy tool. It is so informational. You learn from it a lot, but also learns a lot from you, and it learns your day-to-day too, and it learns how to really assess that. It builds on top of like the previous prompts that you also had incorporated too. While yes, it is a plan, really isn't entirely something you should base your entire life of. Life really does happen. If you know that you have priorities and responsibilities outside of what you are planning, I think you need to be realistic and incorporate that. But on top of that, this also helps you set in schedules to like allow you to have days where you can schedule in, like if you want to take a walk and you want to do some yoga lessons and you want to read or you want to paint. It really helps you focus on that and zero in and allows you to schedule that. A lot of times people say that they never have time or they never know when to really start. You can start now, put in your non-negotiables, like things that you can't move, put that in, and then ask ChatGPT to schedule around that and incorporate the things you want to do. For example, if you want to start learning how to paint, if you want to learn how to invest, incorporate that. And it does really help, and it has helped me expand my knowledge and expand who I am as a person. So for that time, you can probably unwind, even take longer breaks, or do what you want to do even more, or even get a head start on the next itinerary that you have. We always say we never have enough time. I never have enough time. Well, plan your day, plan for tomorrow, and plan for success. Yeah, anyways, if you enjoyed that, let me know. If you want also a kind of a week in my life utilizing this, let me know. With that being said, I actually do kind of use ChatGPT to kind of ease into it and organize my schedule. With that being said, today's Sunday, so I am going to be organizing my schedule. So if you do want a tidbit into my life on how things work, let me know. Comment down below. With that being said, I'm still going to do it without you telling me. Then I'd be like, okay, my bad gang. I totally understand. I'd be like, okay. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. Talk to you later and be safe, y'all. Okay, bye.